The only good thing about losing this many armies is that we no longer need to pay their salaries, just like when we fought the Iceni. Our mighty trade federation produced more than enough revenue for us, making our recent losses a luxury problem. We weren't even close to the worst positioned nation. It's not even close. Carthage got severely destroyed, being double teamed by the Lusitani and Romans. By the end of the war, they only held Caralis, while Rome secured Italy and conquered Africa. The Lusitani secured Iberia and even established outposts in Africa as well. We, of course, didn't lose anything, and with our current power, we were still the strongest nation, only truly rivaled by Rome. I realize I've been blinded by violence and greed in the past. It is time to change that. Yet I couldn't just let the Lusitani go after what they did. My plan of retaliation is simple, but dangerous. I will not waste any more lives on a fool's advance. They will undoubtedly make ambushes at every pass into their peninsula. Therefore, we are not going by land. Ships. We will sail down the coast and land a task force behind enemy lines, creating more than enough havoc for them to deal with. But as mentioned, this is dangerous and I don't want to waste more men on a foolish attempt. Hence we shall test it first. Just to the north of us lies Britannia, our former enemies. We have crossed blades with them on many occasions, making them an obvious target to test our strategy against. Another argument is they were part of my father's vision. We had to go for them. Tribesmen from all over the Federation were summoned. The fishermen from Ilibona and Amnetum took charge of shipbuilding and crew. Gallic blacksmiths and swordsmen sharpened their swords and axes, expecting to cut through the toughest of armor. Germanic hunters prepared their bows, getting ready for their final hunt. With the laws of Trigenius, I had to command the armies myself. It was either that or Abalas, and we all know how that would have turned out. Furthermore, leading by example is also a great trait of the High King, which Gallia truly deserves. We are ready for war. By the end of our preparations, we had 5 armies and 2 fleets, just enough to cross the water. Obviously, as this only was a test, and a fear of the Romans, or Lusitani, appearing out of nowhere, I left 2 forces to guard Gallia, setting ambushes at 2 popular routes and key choke points. We set sail for the Iceni lands, but quickly learned our limits in terms of naval transport. We had to stay close to friendly ports if this was to work. Iska became our plan B. During our crossing, we got hit by bad weather and snow. Many men froze to death at sea. Landing in Britannia wasn't much of an upgrade. We needed the settlement to keep us warm and safe. Although our 3rd army hadn't arrived, we had to do something. Without hesitation, I declared war. One of our armies rushed out to engage the British division just outside of the town. If we win this battle, our plan will undoubtedly work. The tactic was quite simple compared to most battles. We had one visible battle line, with Germanic hunters behind and a massive bodyguard contingent as a reserve to supervise the attack. On the right, I kept every chariot and lancer unit. Hidden to the left were the naked swordsmen. As we got closer to the enemy, our flanks would clash. cavalry won with ease, with the center soon to follow. But the casualties were high, meaning the elite bodyguards soon were the only infantry still standing. As the battle was running to a close, the British swordsmen rushed towards our general, but due to the dense snow, they were slowed down substantially. This allowed our Germanic hunters to pick them off one by one, securing a costly, but still a victory. Well, that's it then. Our armies might need to be tweaked a bit, but other than that, our plan is looking good. We captured Ischia along with Stonehenge, but our two initial armies had taken so many casualties, I was forced to send them back to Gaul. This left Aballos alone in Britannia, as he was the last army supposed to take part in our small drill. How typical of him not to show up in time. You know, this is why I'm gonna force him to stay in Gaul during our invasion into Iberia. We continue to improve our fleet and our armies in preparations for everything. The time for us to advance was close. We captured a Lusitani champion inside our territory, and after some aggressive persuasion, we made him talk. Everything seemed to be crumbling in the south. As we abandoned all our influence over the Iverni, it became a lucrative target for the Lusitani to regain some form of involvement in Gaul. They once held such power through the Massalians, but at the first sign of trouble, the Lusitani withdrew. Cowards who only think of their own well-being. Thinking back, this should probably have been a red flag for us. It was obvious they would betray us as well. And now, they declared war on the Vivisci, a client state of the Iverni. But they had forgotten an old trade agreement between the two nations. Third broken treaty. They survived 2 close encounters, but left them vulnerable. This made the semi-independent Iberian tribe in Tarraco break away, sending in their own armies to defeat the Lusitani. Angered by the third betrayal from the Lusitani, the Massalians proclaimed no one should experience the same fate by these traitors. They began marching their armies south as well, in search of justice. Of course, much more happened than just this, but that is not important now. Personally, I was quite conflicted by the situation. I would just have burned down a few cities to the ground, but nothing more than that. Yet if we joined the war along with what already troubled the Iberian nation, they were sure of destruction. In an attempt to prove our superiority and overall being a just ruler, I offered dozens of gold and silver to fund their war. But the stubborn Lusitani honorably refused. Another possibility could be to betray Massalia as well, giving the Lusitani time to initiate a counterattack. Still, that would just give the Romans straight access to our territory. No, that wasn't an option. The only right choice is to sail down there and bring a swift end to everything.